Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. February has been flying by. It has come to the last week of February as I'm filming this. So I figured today, let's be early with it, Aimee, and put up March's new releases for 2022 as far as book releases go. I have mostly thrillers written down here, a few male romances including YA, about 16 books that have caught my eye. What are y'all looking forward to coming out in March 2022? Any recommendations for me will be great. Just put them down below. All right, there's a lot of books, like I said, 16 books, so let's get started. So I don't know about y'all, but I have been very much anticipating The Night Shift by Alex Finley. I haven't read every last Sphere yet. I do want to do that. But this one sounds really good. It's the New Year's Eve of 1999. Y2K is expected to end in chaos. So that first line right there got me, because I remember being at a New Year's Eve party, 1999. I mean, we were playing the Prince song like pretty much the entire night. But anticipating like what was really gonna happen. Like I knew in the back of my mind, like nothing's gonna happen, but then you never know. Like is shit gonna shut down? It didn't, obviously. But anyway, it was a hyped up thing. It was a thing back then. So when I saw that first line, that's all I needed to know. Planes falling from the sky, elevators plunging to the earth, world markets collapsing, a digital apocalypse. But none of that actually happens. But at a Blockbuster Video in Linden, New Jersey, 4 teenage girls working the night shift are attacked. Only one survives. 15 years later, in the same town, 4 teenage employees working late at an ice cream store are attacked. And again, only one makes it out alive. That's all we're going to read. It says at the bottom, The Night Shift is a story about the legacy of trauma and how the broken can come out on the other side, and it solidifies. This comes out March 1st, and I am very excited. Also coming out on March 1st is The Fear by Natasha Preston. I have read maybe one other book by this author. They write young adult thrillers, and I really enjoyed the last one I read. I don't remember what the name of it was though. But I think it was like a group of teenagers that were going in a cabin and things went down. It was actually pretty good. I have another book on my TBR shelf from this author. But anyway, like I said, this is a YA thriller. Don't be afraid, be terrified. It's just a stupid meme that's going around their small fishing town in the dead of winter. People reposting and sharing their biggest fear. But when her classmates start turning up dead, dying in the way that they said scared them the most, Izzy knows it's no joke. Just sounded intriguing. Like I said, YA thriller, comes out March 1st. We might check it out. This was a book of the month pick. This is The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This was an early release for Book of the Month members. I have not read it yet, but it officially comes out on March 8th. So I believe this is about a couple that are having marital problems. They seek out this counselor who is known for like her, it says it in here, unorthodox methods. So I think we're following Avery, who is the therapist, as well as Marissa, who is the wife of the couple. I don't know if we would follow her husband. His name is Matthew. But as I'm flipping through here, I see, oh, those are the names I see, Avery and Marissa. So, but anyway, I'm excited. I'm intrigued about this because I know there's something with the therapist that's, like I said, like it says, unorthodox. So we'll find out soon. Also coming out on March 8th, this is Killing Time by Brenna Ehrlich. This is also a YA thriller. I found a lot of YA thrillers coming out in March that have like really piqued my interest. Ferry, Connecticut has always meant long lazy days at the beach and wild nights partying in the abandoned mansions on the edge of town. Until now, that is. Natalie, who's never been one for beaches or parties in the first place, is reeling from the murder of her favorite teacher. And there's no way this true crime obsessed girl is going to sit back and let the rumor mill churn out lie after lie, even if she has to hide her investigation from her disapproving mom and team up with the new boy in town. It just kind of piqued my interest. Like I said, I don't know, the cover intrigued me. The whole like she's into true crime kind of thing. I don't know. It sounded fun. I put it on the list. It comes out March 8th. Yet again, another YA thriller that comes out also on March 8th. This is Daughter. This is by Kate McCollin. This one really piqued my interest. So this is about a young girl who has never met her father until he is, I guess, caught by the FBI or the police or whatever. Her father is actually like a famous serial killer, and he has told the police or the detectives that he will only tell his daughter who his last victims were and where they were buried. So she gets to finally meet her father that she's never met before, had no idea who he was because her mother has been hiding his identity from her. So this one sounded really, really intriguing. So this one will definitely probably be bought as soon as it comes out. And They Lived by Steven Salvatore. This comes out where am I? March 8th as well. So this is a YA male type romance. From what I read, it seems to be a very deep and intense kind of story between these two guys. It says perfect for fans of What If It's Us. Chase Arthur is a budding animator and hopeless romantic obsessed with Disney films and finding his true love. But he's plagued with the belief that he's not enough for anyone. He's recovering from an eating disorder and suffers from body dysmorphia fueled by his father and can't quite figure out his gender identity. Chase meets Jack Reed, a pragmatic poet who worships words and longs to experience life outside of his sheltered world. Jack is also discovering his sexual identity, having grown up in a close-knit conservative family. Jack internalized a lot of homophobia from his parents and childhood best friend. Chase will have to learn to love and be enough for himself while discovering what it means to truly live. So it just sounds like a really deep, kind of intense YA between these two guys trying to discover who they really are as they're coming into adulthood. I usually love those type of stories, so that's why I wrote it down. It comes out March 8th. I think I said that already. I skipped over a date. On March 7th, we get Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. That's all I need to know. I will be pre-ordering this book probably. Someone brought my attention to it. I had no idea Dolly Parton was working with James Patterson. I've read one James Patterson back in my day. And I liked it. It's just been a while. I have read that Swipe Right for Murder, which is like a James Patterson type of corporation. It was written by a Derek Millman, but it's like under James Patterson. But anyway, this says by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. It says a thriller about a young singer-songwriter on the rise and on the run and determined to be whatever it takes to survive. Every song tells a story. She's a star on the rise, singing about the hard life behind her. She's also on the run. Find a future, lose a past. Nashville is where she's come to claim her destiny. It's also where the darkness she's fled might find her. Yes, March 7th. Another highly anticipated book for me. This is the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I have loved everything so far that I have read by Simone St. James. She writes these like just wickedly haunting stories. They're creepy. They're fantastic. And I love her timelines. Absolutely love her timelines. This one says a true crime blogger gets more than she bargained for while interviewing the woman acquitted of 2 cold case slayings in this chilling new novel from Simone St. James. In 1977, Claire Lake, Oregon, was shaken by the Lady Killer murders. 2 men seemingly randomly were murdered with the same gun, with strange notes left behind. What is wrong with me? I can't get my words out. Beth Greer was the perfect suspect, a rich, eccentric 23-year-old woman seen fleeing one of the crime scenes. But she was acquitted and she retreated to the isolation of her mansion. And then we jump to Oregon in 2017. Shay Collins is a receptionist, but by night, she runs a true crime website, The Book of Cold Cases, a passion fueled by the attempted abduction she escaped as a child. When she meets Beth by chance, Shay asks her for an interview. To Shay's surprise, Beth says yes. That's all we're going to read. So yes, so we have a true crime obsessed young woman who runs into this supposedly woman that was supposedly a suspect and acquitted. She's going to interview her. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. This comes out March 15th. Peter Swanson's got another story for us, also coming out on March 15th. This is 9 Lives. The story of 9 strangers who receive a cryptic list with their names on it, and then begin to die in highly unusual circumstances. I don't want to know too much going into this book. Hopefully we get something maybe a little bit better than every vow we break. It sounds intriguing, so yeah. Here's to hoping, cross our fingers, that it's going to be a good one. Brooke Blaine is starting a new series for us. This is Bedhead. This is the Hate to Love You series. This is the first book. This also comes out on March 15th. It says, I hate Drew Edwards. That isn't a secret to anyone in New York. Smug, charming, flippant, and a royal pain in my ass. Drew has a way of making everyone fall in love with him. But I know the truth. Under that public persona is a ruthless man who'll do anything to come out on top. That was Hudson, and then Drew says, he hates me. No breaking news. If anything, his hate only fuels my desire to provoke the pompous bastard at every opportunity. So when the chance to publish the most scandalous book of the year comes down to our companies, I'm determined to do whatever I have in order to take Hudson down. It says each book in the Hate to Love You series follows a different couple and can be read as a standalone. So that's good to hear. But yes, this one comes out on March 15th. This one, I don't think this is the cover. This is Mr. Grumpy Pants. This is by Billy Bloom. This author has sparked my interest on the Instagram. I have yet to read a book, but I need to do that very, very soon. In fact, maybe I'll do that in March for my TBR, as part of my TBR. But this is part of the First Times series. This is actually the second book. So the reason I wrote it down is because it's released in March, but the first book, actually, as I'm speaking today, will not be up till the 28th. So the first book in this series, this is My Roommate Romeo. I saw this, well, when I saw this book and I saw Billy Bloom as the author, I like clicked on it, and then I saw that it was book 2, so I was like, okay, well, but what was book 1 and why did I miss this? So anyway, just wanted to mention it as well because it's the first book. I don't know if it has to be read in order, but this one, my roommate Romeo says, putting solo videos online was the perfect solution to Hudson's need to be seen, Problem. That is, until his new roommate, Dayton, found the videos. But now Hudson thinks he might want Dayton to watch live and in person. Dayton's Game. So that's the first book, and then so the second book, I think it is different because it's different guys. Troy's been perfectly content flying solo, no strings attached, sleighing on and off the ice. But there's a certain grumpy guy he can't get out of his head. Just because Theo lets a guy talk to him in the shower each Tuesday does not mean said guy can speak to him in public. Theo has his career to focus on. He doesn't need any distractions, no matter how hot the jock is. But Theo can't get rid of Troy that easily. Who knew hockey players could be so persistent? So this one sounded really good too, but it sounds like completely different from the first book. So it doesn't state that it could be read alone, but I'm guessing it probably can. But anyway, it comes out on March 21st. Okay, another YA thriller. This one comes out on March 22nd. This is called Remember Me by Stacey Stokes. This really piqued my interest. I'm going to keep saying that. This is about a young girl whose family has an ability to erase parts of your mind that you don't want to remember. So it says, Lucy Miller's family has the unique ability to remove people's painful memories, but Lucy isn't prepared for the truths she will uncover. It says it's perfect for the fans of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. People come from everywhere to forget. At the Memory House in Tumbletree, Texas, Lucy's father can literally erase folks' heartache and tragic memories. Lucy can't wait to learn the family trade and help elevate others' pain, and now, at 16, she finally can. But everything is not as it seems. That's all we're going to say. I don't know where we're going with that, but it just sounds really good. This one is another one that doesn't really have a cover yet. It says Tough Luck. This is going to be by Annabeth Albert. This is also part of a series, the A-List Security series. This is going to be book 1. I don't know. I didn't read anything on it. I don't think it doesn't have a synopsis. It says full blurb and cover reveal coming soon for this male military romance starring a former SEAL turned reluctant bodyguard and his best friend's famous little brother who's not so little anymore. So there you go. That's all we get for this book. But I saw Annabeth Albert was coming out with a new series, so I just wrote it down. Did I say it's coming out March 24th? And again, another anticipated book for me. This is The Long Weekend by Jilly McMillan. This comes out on March 29th. 3 couples, 2 bodies, 1 secret. Dark Fale Barn is a perfectly isolated retreat, or so says its website, when Jane books a reservation for her friends. A quiet place far removed from the rest of the world is exactly what they need. The women arrive for a girls' night ahead of their husbands. But what they hoped would be a relaxing break soon turns to horror. I don't want to read anymore. I just know it's by Jilly McMillan and it's going to be good. I hope anyway. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this book. This is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I love the cover. This is a YA male romance. This is an historical, I believe is what it says. Carry On meets Arthurian legend in this funny, subversive young adult fantasy about what happens after the chosen one wins the kingdom and has to get married to keep it and stay alive. So no, the cover drew me in, but it's not historical. It's, you know, more on the fantasy side, which I'm very picky about my fantasies, but we might give this a shot. It comes out March 29th. Ooh, this is another one that sparked my interest. This is The Resting Place. This is by Camilla Sten. But it says it was translated by Alexandra Fleming. So it's a translated book. A spine-chilling, propulsive psychological suspense It says the medical term prosopagnosia. The average person calls it face blindness. The inability to recognize a familiar person's face, even the faces of those closest to you. So I don't want to read too much into that because I don't, you know, you never know with these thrillers. You never know what they're giving away in these blurbs and synopses. But I think something happens and she comes face to face with something and someone. But even though she saw this happening, she's not going to be able to identify this person because she has this face blindness disease. It just sounded really cool and interesting. Yeah, it comes out March 29th. Okay, y'all, that's it. That's all the books that I wrote down for the month of March that are coming out. I'm sure, like I always say, I missed something. So let me know in the comments down below. I just picked these books just as I see them. I Google it, and if anything piques my interest, I jot it down. So yeah, that's how I go about doing these videos. But let me know what you're gonna pick up for the month of March. So lots of good thrillers coming out, good YA thrillers I'm excited about. Not as many male romances as I would have liked, but I'm sure, like I said, I might have missed something. Thank y'all so much for watching. As always, hope you're all doing well out there. Hugs from me all around, and I'll see y'all very soon with a new video. Bye, y'all.